Hello and welcome. In this tutorial, we are going to look at the BCR index, the BCR index seen in the BCR premium device when the device is running. Now, before we actually look at this, the BCR index from 0 to 100, we know that it's reading something from the body. So we need to find out which part of the body that it's reading. It depends on how we have applied the electrodes. Now, this reading comes through channel A, the cable that is connected to channel A. So in this case, it's the treatment is on a knee. So we have applied the electrodes in this way. So once the treatment starts working, the treatment runs in this pathway. So it comes through one electrode, it goes through the body to find the other opposite electrode, and then it goes back to the machine, and that's how the reading happens. And BCR being bipolar, the current runs in both directions. So from here you can know that it's important to apply the electrodes in such a way that the treatment passes through the target area that you want to treat. So this is the area, the dotted area. This is where the treatment is happening, and also the measurements are happening. Now we look at the measurements. 0 to 100, what does it indicate? It actually indicates electrical resistance from 25 kilo ohms to 600 kilo ohms. Now we are more interested in the conductivity. That is why the 100 is on the right side. So conductivity and resistance are inversely proportional. So we look 100 is where you have high conductivity, and 0 is where you have low conductivity. Now when you have low conductivity, what does it mean? It means hypometabolic situations, too little energy and activity. So this is cases where normally heat-based therapies are applied. And what does it mean when you have high conductivity, which means there's inflammation, it's hypermetabolic situation, excess energy and activity. And this is found normally in the cases of acute conditions where ice-based treatments are used. So in the middle of these two, you have the normal metabolic situation. This is found to be at 95 kilo ohms of resistance. So this is the 50 mark. This is what the machine is attempting to do. So the machine actually reads where the condition is, and then it has got its own treatment algorithms built in to bring the resistance to 95 kilo ohms on the 50 point. So this is how we have arrived at the BCR index. If you look at the color scheme, this is what it represents. Okay, now let's look at the blue and yellow lines. The yellow line actually refers to, it shows the position at start. What was the position? So in this case, it's somewhere closer to between 5 and 10, 0 and 10, say 5. So it's more of a hypometabolic condition. And this position will not change throughout the treatment. It remains there. It's just to show that where your starting point was. And the blue line shows the position during the treatment, what the treatment is doing. This position moves throughout the treatment, and the target is to reach the balance energy point of 95 kilo ohms or the 50 point. So this is how the treatment works. So if your start is at 0, close to 0, then it has to bring to 50. And if your start is close to 100, then your blue must move towards the middle again. So now let's look at the color of the BCR index. When in this case you see the color is orange color. The color represents the box in which the yellow bar is. So in this case too, because the color is the same. But if the yellow bar shows improvement towards the middle, the color of the BCR changes. So it's understood, the target is to reach this level. So the difference between yellow bar and the blue bar is the yellow bar is at the start. Blue bar is what the machine does. So what is actually more important is to see that the yellow bar reaches this level. Okay, now let's look into what it means when the yellow bar reaches the middle level, um, close to 50 or at 50 around them, the dark green rectangle box in the middle. It means that cell metabolism is normal, brought to normal, and that manifests itself in the forms of pain reduction, cell regeneration, increased bodily function, and self-repair. So by holding it here long enough, you can actually induce self-repair by the body. It can be done systemically and also localized or organ specific. Cell metabolism has a causative and curative role to ailments. When cell metabolism is in a disorder, it causes ailments. And when the disorder is regulated back to normal, it has a curative effect to ailments. Okay, sometimes you can find yourself in this situation where when you start the treatment, the blue bar, rather than moving towards the middle, is moving away from the middle. So this could actually give some valuable information. For example, if you are treating your knee and you suspect that your condition is rheumatoid arthritis, and you chose the program rheumatoid arthritis, and if you see this situation, then it is likely that your underlying condition is osteoarthritis instead of rheumatoid arthritis. So this way, if for those who are interested in this kind of situations, you could play with various programs, and whichever is taking you closer to the optimal level or the 50 level, that is the right condition that you are facing. So in this way, you can also find valuable information about the underlying causes. And you could be facing is something like this. At the start, you could find that yellow bar is already in the middle. There could be reasons for it. Now, usually, when you have a person with severe condition, you will very unlikely see this situation. In healthy people, it is very normal to see this, even when they have some mild pain. In other cases, when you are having a situation like knee, there could be a chronic condition with the joints, and you could have developed an acute problem with the ligaments. So where there is actually a mix of both. So the machine actually averages it, and it could be a reason why it is like this. But in this case, if you really have an issue, it is just good to continue the treatment, and the machine will auto regulate it by itself. Thank you very much, and any queries, please contact us.